Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Success is very important to all of us, and all of us want to achieve success and stupendous success. In whatever line we are, we want to be the flag bearers in that, and we also want to cross all limits. And usually our success is measured in terms of milestones. We give ourselves milestones. Can I do this? Once you achieve that, can I do something more? And once you achieve that, can I do something more? So success is always relative. Success is always comparable. And sometimes we do tend to compare success between two milestones or two people also, but generally from the same field. So for example, who is more successful in playing cricket? Will you say Ricky Ponting is more successful or Sachin Tendulkar is more successful, for example? So pretty close records, but Sachin Tendulkar all the way, not just because I am an Indian, but the world says that Sachin Tendulkar is a biggest success in terms of the number of centuries he has made, the number of one days he has played, and then centuries in both formats of the game, the strike rate that he had, the way he dominated bowling, and his consistency over the years, and the amount of pressure the man took because he was the main pillar and the mainstay of the Indian batting. Whereas Ricky Ponting had too many pillars in his team who were able to take the pressure away from him, and they could depend on other players also. But Sachin Tendulkar's case was different, and that's why he is regarded as one of, not just one of the greatest, but the greatest player of cricket. But what can we compare a Sachin Tendulkar to, say, a Vishwanathan Anand? So that will be a tricky part to compare because they are two different sports, but both have dominated their sports for far too long, too consistently, been world champions for years together, beaten the opposition black and blue, achieved accolades and whatnot. So there the success cannot be compared because there are no specific benchmarks of comparison. We can still sit down and make some benchmarks and then prove who's made more money and who has more fans and use that as a mark of success. But success is always relative to each other, and hence in our lives when we create those success benchmarks, the question arises, am I successful or will I be successful in life? So one thing is important is that when we are looking at success questions, will I be successful in this, we always have something in mind, right? For example, will I be successful in life? When people ask me, they also ask me, will I make a lot of money? And so success to them to a large extent is that if I don't make money, then how can you say I will be successful? So somebody asked me, will I do very well in my education? Will I get higher degrees and all that? So I saw that he has a fantastic ninth house. He had a great Jupiter, and Jupiter was also expecting the Lagna, and Mercury was also pretty good. So I said, yeah, you have the intellect, you have the wisdom, and you have the grace of God, you will get a lot of degrees. Then he asked me, will I make a lot of money? And then I saw that he didn't have such a great second house, and with reference to the second house and other pointers towards money, say the 11th house, for example, the second lord, there wasn't too much money in terms of comparing to the education, higher learning that he would get. So I told him that he seemed to be so much into learning, higher learning and all. I said, stupendous success. I said, no, money you may not make so much, but you have a lot of success in terms of literary success, and you will have name, fame in your area. You will be known as a guru and all that. But he seemed disappointed because that amount of money that he was expecting was not coming through. So I asked him, what do you asked me whether you will be successful, right? He said, yeah, I asked you that question. So I said, you will be very successful because you have a chart where you will have name, fame, reputation, you will be regarded as a guru, you will have learning and all, and you will have a consistency in your career. He said, but what is the use if the money is not so much? Then how can I be successful? So his benchmark for success was money. I also have people who reach out to me and ask me, will I be very successful? So that I'm a little careful and ask, what do you mean by success? So for example, somebody would ask me, I am into singing and I want to sing and I want to record a lot of songs. Will I make a name for myself? Upcoming budding singer and who's started to do well in Bollywood also. So I said, yeah, you will make a lot of money, you will have songs, and he has been somebody who's been consulting me for 10 years, even before his name was known. So I had seen that trajectory, and now he is quite comfortable and he sings good songs. So I told him at that point of time, you will record songs, you will do well, people will know your name, and you will work with big banners, you will work with big stars, and you will do pretty well. So he asked, will I be one of the greats in singing? So I said, what do you mean by greats? So he said, will I be a Mohammed Rafi? Will I be a Kishore? Or can I have the adulation and success of, say, a Lata Mangeshkar or Asha Bhosle? So I said, that kind of success is very difficult to compare your success with. You will be very successful, but will you achieve those heights? I really don't know. I wish you do. But he did seem to have a fairly fair amount of success, but not to that extent that he would be. So I said, you will have name, fame, money, you will have everything, but that kind of greatness I don't see in you, because he had a poor son, so son not supporting him, he would not go to that height. So he was very disappointed. So what does this mean? This means that success to all of us is a different ball game, is a different definition to success. And that's why this question, will I be successful, is a very tricky one, because for each one of us, what success means is different. So, for example, how would you define success for a homemaker? A girl who probably gets married at 15, 16, in India some states allow you that, and I mean, at least they don't pursue you legally. Girls do get married at a younger age even now, and all her life she has been a homemaker. She has taken care of her husband and then the kids, and later on maybe the kids of her kids, maybe her grandchildren, and then one fine day she peacefully passed away. She did all her duties, she kept her family happy, she took care of them. She did have her share of sorrows, ups and downs, and then she passed away. Will you call such a person successful? And but if you ask that person, and I have few people who are homemakers, women and men also, who have played the supporting role to the children, and and whole life has been dedicated to bringing up the children, and they look at success in the success of the children, and they feel proud that their children have achieved so much, and they say that I felt successful the day my son got this, my son achieved this. And so their whole life was dedicated to the success of the children. And say, for example, there are also children sometimes who, when they get so much success, they desert their parents, and then the parents feel very dejected, but still proud, and they still regard those children as success. Will you and I regard our lives as very successful if we have dedicated all our lives to children? Children achieve something, but they are no more with us. They have no touch with us, and they have in fact deserted us. So think about it. So that's a really tricky part. How do we see success in life? But to each his own. As long as that keeps you that satisfaction, it may not give you the happiness. A deserted parent may not be happy, but he may be satisfied that this was my target, that I should establish my children, they should reach a certain level, and they have reached more than that level. So I'm satisfied with my success, because they are linking their success with the children's success. They may be satisfied, they may not be completely happy, because the relationship seems to be not doing so very well. So how we define success is important. I've made a different video on success in career, for example, which is more related to from a career point of view, and I've also made a video on happiness, whether you'll be happy or not. But happiness is more of a state of mind. Success to an extent is also a state of mind, because you are creating those milestones. I've achieved this, can I achieve one more milestone, and one more, and one more. With happiness, sometimes we may relate the happiness to material success also. But generally happiness means an overall kind of a thing. For example, somebody may think, well, when the question is put to them, when they ask this question, will I be happy, and you ask them, okay, what does happiness mean for you, then they may say, for me happiness means will I have good health, will I have good wealth, whether I will have good name and fame, whether I will be successful, and whether I will be healthy. So be successful is part of happiness, being healthy is part of happiness, having a good family is a part of happiness. So happiness is a more larger goal, and success in career or success in money is one part of happiness, for example. So it's a matter of seeing goals. So I made a video on happiness also. I thought I should make this video on success because after I made that video on happiness, I got a call from somebody and said, does that video relate to success or does it relate to happiness? I thought about it and said, no, it's about happiness, whether you will be happy or not, and which area of life you will find more happiness from. And he said, what about success? I may not be happy, but I want to enjoy a certain amount of success. How about that? And so I thought I should make this video because it did make sense, the success and happiness being not exactly the same. And I remember reading an article where it was about doping in sports, and somebody had wrote a good article about how sometimes athletes and sports people choose to use drugs, performance enhancing drugs, even though they knowing that the drug is extremely harmful to their health, and while it may boost their performance over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, but on long term it will have disastrous effects and may even shorten their life by 10 to 15 years, in some cases even 20 years. Yet some athletes, some sports people have chosen to take those performance enhancing drugs because for that Olympic glory, so that they can reach that pinnacle of success for them which they want to achieve, and they have no regrets. Many of them have stated that I took that drug because I wanted to get that Olympic medal. The medal means everything to me. Whether I get money, name, fame, success or not, I don't care, but I want that medal. That is the goal of my life. An Olympic medal is the goal of my life, for example. If I get that, I am successful. If I don't get the Olympic medal, I may not be successful. I will not regard myself as successful. So when somebody has such a clear-cut definition of success, you give them name, fame, adulation, money, relations, all that. Yet in their mind they will not be successful, and that's why some very good celebrities, sometimes very young people, sometimes old people, we find that in spite of stupendous success, they end up committing suicide because they feel that they are a loser or they are not successes in their minds. And we have seen a string of them. You look up history, you just Google celebrity suicide, you will see so many of them who we feel are stupendous successes and who had so much more to give, yet they took their lives because of various reasons, and not being successful is one of them. So what are the placements for success in our lives? And I want to delve a little bit on this, and I want to start with this shloka. This shloka in the Brihat Samhita says, Atma sahyati manasa mana indriye swarthe chendriye miti krameksha shigra yogoyamev manaso magmay masti yasmin mano vrajati tatra gataya matma. I translate, the soul combines with the mind with the senses, and the senses with their respective objects. This takes place in quick succession. The connection being such, is there anything unattainable for the mind? And whither the mind goes, thither goes the soul too. So Brihat Samhita says that it is the connection of the soul with the mind, and with the mind you are moving towards that inclination that you want. Whither the soul goes, the mind goes too, and vice versa. So if the mind is going towards a certain direction, the soul also moves in that direction. So it is important that you control your mind, because success is also in your mind and what kind of success you are going to enjoy, and you will take that position that this is what success means to me. You will create those milestones and you will keep creating those milestones. Once you get a certain level of success, then you will think, what now? What next? Then you choose another one, then you choose another one, then you choose another one, and there is a constant struggle to do more and get more and get more. And businessmen, very successful businessmen, but who are really very, very ambitious, keep creating these goals for them. I want this kind of market share for my company. Once they achieve that market share, then they will have another milestone, then yet another, then they would want to be on top, then they want to be the number one in the world, then they want another business in which they want to do very well, and it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Jack Welch, for example, the iconic leader of GE, General Electric, and from where he ended up for General Electric, and then now what has happened after Jeff Immelt took over, we know. So such cases where success is relative and milestones are there, it all depends on how you choose your mind moving towards. And if you're looking at what are the areas that you can be successful in, then from your horoscope some pointers are straight given to you where you will enjoy success. Firstly, the house which is the strongest in your chart, there you will get success. More benefics in a friendly sign in any house, you will get success there. At least the potential of success is definitely there. You have a strong second house, you will get successful in money. Second house and 11th house sharing energies, very high success in related to money, almost to the fulfillment of your aspirations. Fifth house very strong, Lagna very strong, success in performances, success in the arts, success in artistic expression, success in financial investments, success in love and romance. 9th house and the Lagna getting connected, for example, success in higher degrees, in higher learning, success in getting being seen as a guru, being seen as a teacher yourself, very high reputation, and the doors of fate and luck opening to you with the key of education and learning, for example. Fourth house very, very strong, success in property, success in jewelry, success in getting vehicles, cars of your choice. And if it has the aspect of a benefic or even Jupiter, then your mind is happy as well. You have mental peace and domestic happiness, and that's why the fourth house is a very, very strong house for success. So the more benefits are getting associated with the house, the house lord is placed very well, then you have huge potential for success in that particular house. Whether that connects to your career or not is a secondary thing. Whether that connects to money or not is a secondary thing. Whether that connects to a lot of reputation and name and fame for you is another thing. But you will definitely achieve a lot in that area of life which a house represents. If the house is very, very strong, the house lord is very, very strong, and if benefics get connected to it with no malefics. That is a simple criteria whether you will be successful in that particular area or not. The relative amount of success will go up or down basis how many benefics get involved and how many malefics are spoiling the success. More benefics get involved and no malefic aspects, no malefic conjunctions, no bad doshas, house lord strong, then very, very high success in that. One malefic gets involved in it, but yet strong house lord, good benefics, 2 to 3 benefics getting connected, high success, but not the highest amount of success. 2 malefics get involved and 2 benefics, equitable amount of success. 1 benefic or no benefic and a bad dosha and a malefic gets involved, some success in some parts of life, but struggles to a large extent in that particular area. 2 or 3 malefics get involved, no benefics, house lord bad, debilitated or combusted, hardly any success in the area of that house. This is the simple notion of success that you should be able to see. the moment you connect that to other places, so success in studies and you get money, then 9th and 2nd house. Success in career and getting money, then 2nd house. Success in name and fame and huge reputation in life, huge love and respect, 5th and Lagna in a combination, and to large extent 11th house combination. Success in foreign lands, strong 12th house. Success in foreign lands and a lot of money, 2nd house gets into the picture. Success in foreign lands, huge money, huge name, fame, reputation, the Lagna also gets involved in this. So you need to connect these 2, 3 and see if there is a yoga, a strong yoga given to you in the Lagna, a Gajkesari yoga, success more or less in the field that you want to be. But you will be seen as a guru, you will be seen as an expert, you will be seen with somebody who knows a lot and who is a truly blessed person in that area. Lakshmi yoga, good amount of money, especially with the 5th and 9th houses getting connected to either the 2nd house or the Lagna, name, fame, reputation and money. Success in your marriage, very strong 7th house, strong 7th lord, and getting not only successful but a very good spouse, strong Venus, strong Jupiter, and either of them getting involved in a strong yoga. Venus in a Lakshmi yoga or Jupiter in a Gajkesari yoga, especially when either of them is your 7th lord for a woman where Jupiter is involved and Venus is the 7th lord where the man is involved. Then the spouse will be from a better family, will be richer than you, maybe better good looking, more good looking than you, may also have a better career than you. So success in marriage will be there where the spouse will be much better than you, and if there is an aspect of benefit, you will also be happy with the spouse. You will also take pride in the success of the spouse. So that's how the combination of planetary energies should be seen where success is concerned. And now an important yoga and described in the shloka connected to Jupiter. Tule vichitrarth bahu pralapo guru guru khyad diyo prasute kanta subhachararte vinita pragya vanik karya mahattarancha. I translate: if Jupiter is found in Libra at birth, the person will possess surprising wealth, will prattle a lot, be a great man, famous for his intelligence, beautiful, endowed with good conduct, modest and extremely successful in business affairs, but he will be troubled by his adversaries. So Jupiter, a guru, a wise guy in Libra, the sign of others, relationship, in business and partnership, very high success, but because it is also the house of others, Libra, but 7th house energies, which means that he will also be troubled by adversaries. Now, will you call such a person successful? Wealth, name, fame is there, but all the time his adversaries, his enemies, his competitors will always be behind him, will not let him live in peace. So now you decide, if you have a very strong Jupiter in Libra, which gives you a lot of things, but you are always throughout the life troubled by adversaries, how will it be? And you put in a weak moon there, then in spite of all the success, you may not be very happy, you may not be satisfied. And that's why success is such a relative thing, and you will have to decide what success means for you. Your placements will definitely give you the promise, the potential also, but guaranteed success, it will not be given to you through your chart alone. How much energy is being shared between the 3rd house and that house which gives you success, to a large extent will define how much control you will have, how much choice you will have in pushing the boundaries and getting more success. If the 10th house is very, very strong but is sharing no energies with the 3rd house, then in spite of your best efforts, the kind of success you want in career may not be coming, and the success that will come to you will be a mix of your luck and your hard work. But if you are very strongly connecting 10th lord and 10th house and the 3rd house of the lords, then the more effort you put in your career, the more success you will get, for example. So you will need to see this combination and work out what success means to you. So Now that we have discussed this, see which is the strongest house in your horoscope, which has most benefic aspects, least aspects of any negatives or any negative doshas, which house is getting connected to more yogas and to more benefits, and what is the time period that comes for you, and then push yourself in that direction and get as much success as the promise is given to you through the horoscope. So friends, please like this video, please share this video. If you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until we meet some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.